Okay, so I found this old footage from 3 years ago of Rio's very first road trip to North Carolina, and I had to turn it into a little throwback vlog because look at how tiny he was. This was his first time being in the car for this long, and I remember being so nervous because a quick car ride is one thing, but a 12-hour road trip with a dog is a whole different level. Honestly, I did give Rio some help calming soft chews before we left because 12 hours in the car is a lot, especially for this big road trip, and I really feel like they helped to make things smoother for him because he was way more settled than I expected, and he slept most of the time. We ended up leaving super early, and at first Rio was just trying to figure out what was going on. I don't think he realized we weren't just going to the park or running a quick errand. He was sitting there like, okay, where are we actually going? And of course I packed for him like he was a toddler. Food, water, treats, his harness, blanket, toys, everything. Because if you're a dog mom, you already know their bag somehow becomes more important than your own. And we were going to stay in North Carolina for about a week, so I had to make sure I packed properly. We made sure to stop along the way so he could stretch his legs, go potty, drink water, and get a break from being in the car. I feel like that made such a big difference because even though he was doing well, 12 hours is still a long time for a little pup. The first part of the drive was actually really peaceful, and he looked around for a little bit, got comfortable, eventually started relaxing. I was so proud of him because I really thought he was going to be dramatic the entire time. Looking back at this now, I'm so glad I recorded these tiny moments. At the time, it probably just felt like random clips from a road trip, but now it feels like such a sweet memory of my baby Rio's first big adventure. It was both our first times going on such a big road trip. One tip I would definitely recommend for a long road trip with your dog is to bring a cooler. Rio had fresh meat as a topper for his food, so I want to keep that cold during the drive. And the cooler was also helpful for his water because Rio actually prefers cold water. If it gets too warm in the car, he's not as interested, so having cold water made it easier to keep him hydrated. The views on the way were so pretty too. I honestly forgot what exact spot this was, but I remember thinking it was beautiful. There were mountains, trees, fall colors, and little places we stopped along the way that made the drive feel a little more special. I haven't really done a lot of traveling in my life, so getting to see somewhere new felt really nice, especially because Rio was with me. I try to bring him on almost every trip I go on because a lot of the time it's my first time experiencing that place too. And I know he's a dog, but I still want him to experience those little moments with me. Even if he doesn't understand that we are going to a new state or that we're seeing these pretty views, I love knowing that he was there. It makes the memory feel even more special because it wasn't just my first time doing something new, it was ours. By the time we got closer to North Carolina, I think we were all tired. Rio had been so good for most of the trip, but you could definitely tell he was ready to be out of the car, and honestly, same. After that many hours on the road, even the calmest dog is probably over it. He had napped, looked around, taken his little breaks, and at that point, I think he was just ready to be somewhere that wasn't the back seat. Once we finally made it to the hotel, he immediately had to inspect everything, the bed, the room, the blankets, the floor, because apparently no place is officially approved until Rio sniffs it first. And after all that investigating, he went straight to sleep on the super soft hotel bed like he had been the one driving for 12 hours. But honestly, I couldn't even blame him. He had a very big day for such a little dog. So this was Rio's first 12-hour road trip to North Carolina. He handled it way better than I expected, became the main character of the entire trip, and proved that he was officially a little travel dog. And yes, I would absolutely do it again.